And we are live with the NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. Hello, friends. It's your buddy Lou Pickney with you here, playing as NashvilleLou. Time's up for checking in for tonight's Air Raid 2 tournament in Warsaken Blitz. And here in just a moment, they're going to reveal the brackets. Here we go. We'll have the brackets for tonight's event. Well, there's your first look at it. I'm going to pull this up on a screen that I can read a little bit easier than what you have in front of you there. Or what I have in front of me, I should say. All right. Well, I played Thomas in the final of the last tournament. And by chance, I've been matched up with Thomas in round one of this tournament. Thomas won the tournament before last, and then made it to the finals of the last tournament that I won. So a very tough task right out of the gate for me, having to take on a former tournament winner and somebody that's made back-to-back trips to the finals. And unlike our meeting in the finals earlier this week, this will be best 2 out of 3 matches. So that's coming up here in just a minute. I'll go ahead and peek in over on the BluMint Discord. I know there's not anything yet on it as far as the rooms. They just revealed the brackets, so we'll have that here in just a moment. This will give me just a second or two here to go through the tournament. Let's start top left. Gabix is taking on Moonbaz Marty. Really good matchup there. Winner of that gets Razpurge 2-3-3-3 against Shiloh. Then there's my matchup against Thomas. The winner of our battle gets the winner between Chowabunga and Pennybags Jr. We got a stacked top quadrant over here. Top right side. Claude IU faces Umidin. Winner of that takes on UROOJ, who got a first round bye. Z Blackle against Zeal 450. Winner of that faces Naveed 1161, who also had a first round bye. Blackbird also has Flaw taking on Hunt Alex 76. That's some star power in this tournament. Winner of that gets Delvis in round 2. Delvis, I've had some really tough battles against. Delvis gets a first round bye. Rexinator taking on Asteroid Eater. Winner of that faces Natha CGA. Natha with a first round bye. G-Daddy on that right side bottom half. G-Daddy 3315 against Encrypted. Winner of that first round matchup will face DKRIN 007, who received a first round bye. And then finally David ERS against DeJohn J. Winner of that faces Sparky in round 2. There is a lot of talent in this tournament, a lot of skilled players. And while I was victorious in Air Raid 1, the path to victory here in Air Raid 2 does not look easy. But as always, you start with your first matchup and you go from there. But it's a tough first matchup. It's a rematch from the finals of Air Raid 1. Luck of the draw, and that's how it turned out. Rexy, hello. Greetings and welcome. Thanks to everybody taking the time to check this out tonight. All right, there's a new mention, which probably means there it is, the new room. All right. Hello. And thank you for the code. Good luck, have fun. All right, so I've got the code from Thomas, so we're going to get things going here in just a moment. I'll quickly reset. This is NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition with live coverage of the Air Raid 2 tournament being hosted by BluMint, August 10th, 2023. And I know I posted it earlier, but I really need to post this again right now. It's the link to BluMint and the Warsaken page on there in particular. So I've got the code. We'll get this typed in, and just approaching top of the hour, just in time to get things started here with Warsaken Blitz. Remember, 2 out of 3 falls, 2 out of 3 matches here for this opening round. It'll be like that until the semifinals, I should note.
Warsaken.
Here we go. taking on Thomas. Round 1, match 1 of the Air Raid 2 tournament. This is a rematch of the championship from Air Raid 1. We happen to get pitted against each other. Nice draw for me. If you like force cards, you're in luck if you're me, and I do. So I'll keep it. To show off, I've got the... I think it's a disturbing name. It's like blood fungus. There's a cool looking kind of red background with the red cards here, just for something a little bit different. I'm going to normally go with the purple themed stuff just because it fits my brand color, even without the overlay. You see the giant white LOU letters with a purple background. It kind of stands out a bit. Oh, queue is closed, by the way. Well, it had to be a technical botch. We had to have at least one of those as a rule or something. Anyway, let's put that overlay back up. Roll of 6, hardy hard. It's a big start here for Thomas with a roll of 6. Remember, Thomas has made the final of the past 2 tournaments. I have a different game mat. Win or lose, I've got a different game mat I'll show off in the next round. Or the next match. No guarantee I'm getting out of round 1. Again, I'm facing off with the person that I battled for the championship for Air Raid 1. Hello, CMC Ski. Let's go, Legion. Yes. And to that end, let it be known tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to have my next broadcast, NashvilleLou Live, Warsaken Blitz, player versus player. I went more than 8 hours on Tuesday. There were people that waited more than 3 hours to play me. I'm incredibly grateful. Thank you so much to my regulars. Thank you to people that check in every now and then. But especially to my regulars. You make it possible. We were 16 people deep in the queue. That's really something. It was the 3rd time since I started live streaming Warsaken Blitz right after the NFL draft. I waited until May 1st. That's one of my busy seasons comes to an abrupt halt at that point. And that's why I waited until then to get started with this. And I'm glad I got started because, wow, this is so much fun to live stream. The reaction from people online about Warsaken Blitz has been like nothing I've ever live streamed before from a gaming standpoint. Now maybe some sports broadcasts. Nashville SC U23 back in 2017. University of Evansville basketball. There's 3-of-a-kind weather extra turn. NCAA men's lacrosse, 3-of-a-kind. There's that blood red. We're staring down 2-of-a-kind of that in the championship round, thinking I was about to see a 3rd card played. Luckily for me, Thomas didn't have a 3rd one of those jets to match with it. Ended up winning the match on the next turn. But I'm down to 3 territories after that 3-of-a-kind. From that roll of 6 to start things off. So a strong start for Thomas. Match 1, round 1 of tonight's BluMint 2 tournament. 1. Play the specialist Upton Kobani. That's it for my turn. It's a roll of 1. So I guess we're now less than 5 days away from the debut of the Savage Escalation packs. Looking forward to that. 5. Now I'll go ahead and play. I was afraid about putting out something I already had 3-of-a-kind of in piecemeal form. Even if it was the beginning of the match. Still had my reservations about it, so it worked out. 3-of-a-kind force lets me take out an opponent's territory. Even when it's the Golden Port of Carbassani. Beautiful card, but you know how it goes. Oh, look at that up there. Again, I love the base entrance game mat, but I really dig this too. Like, if I'm going to mix it up, this is a good one to go with. 2 actions to go for the turn, especially with the red deck and the white logo. I love that you can customize that the way you want it now. And tomorrow, starting at 2 p.m., be live with Warsaken Blitz live player versus player matches right here on NashvilleLou Live on Twitch. 1 action to go for the turn. Let's play Intel, Subversion Tactic. That's it for the turn. It's a roll of 6. But it was really something. So even like last week, I was more than 4 hours in, and OBS Studio crashed on me. I had to restart the entire computer. And enough people stuck around that we kept going with a strong stream. I mean, there are people, like, from the time I closed the queue to the time I was finished, because I make a commitment to play everybody in that queue, barring something unforeseen happening. There's always the possibility, you know, I'm an independent business owner. Sometimes I'm be pulled in unexpected directions, but I try to plan these things out. So I'm down a second territory now. Another 3-of-a-kind force from my opponent. If there's a WMD waiting for me here, I could lose the match and not get another roll. It's possible. 13 cards. So WMD will take out 2 of your opponent's territories. I'm taking on Thomas, round 1 of today's BluMint Air Raid 2 tournament for Warsaken Blitz. There's 2-of-a-kind weather with 3 actions to go for the turn. Another 2-of-a-kind force, 3 sets of 2 for my opponent. That's it for the turn for Thomas, but a lot out there staring me down. My turn. 3. And then there's that. So we'll play that second intel. Subversion tactic. 2 actions to go for the turn. 2 spots open in my war zone. We'll go 2-of-a-kind weather. Violent tornado. And that will end my turn. So my opponent has 3 territories remaining. I'm down to 2. The big concern is if Thomas gets 3-of-a-kind WMD and he's able to play it. Because there's already those 2 sets of 2-of-a-kind force cards out there. It's a roll of 1. Thomas has 10 cards, so maybe some limited options here. No play. My turn. 2. Speaking of limited options, let me tell you about it. Well, I mean, I have 2-of-a-kinds, but the problem, of course, is that would fill up my 4th war zone spot, and that's just typically not a good idea. Unless it's late in a match, at which point circumstances may dictate that a little bit of risk-taking might be worthwhile. In turn. So this is match number 1, round 1 of the Air Raid 2 tournament. It's a roll of 5. And the concern here is that I'll be seeing 3-of-a-kind WMD pop up. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's 3. I'm a compromised leader. 2 actions to go for the turn. If there's a 3rd force to match one of those 2-of-a-kinds out there, that'll be it for match 1. Remember, Thomas has made it to the tournament final of the past 2 tournaments. But that's it for the turn. All right, let's see what I can do here. 6. All right, well, I can play the WMD at least, so there's that. A WMD lets you take out 2 of your opponent's territories. You can only play at most 1 per match in Warsaken Blitz. Okay, 3 actions to go for the turn. Nothing makes 3-of-a-kind, so I have a tough spot here. I need 2 3-of-a-kind forces to get the win if I can somehow get another roll and have that happen. Love to have a 3rd intel to match, but I don't, so I'm going to have to pass up those last 3 actions and end the turn. So all Thomas needs here is 3-of-a-kind force to beat me. It's a roll of 1. But if there's a 3rd force to match one of those sitting out there, that'd be it. Wow. Until that die shifted over, I was okay. I was bracing for it. Let's see. 1, okay. But look at that. Intel. Let's bounce. Bounce 1 each of the 3 sets of 2 out in my opponent's war zone. Send those to the discard pile.
Select target.
Weather. Out.
Select target.
Force that could take me out for the match. Out.
Select target.
That other ship. Out. I forgot about Thomas's love of boat cards. Those aren't just like fishing boats, though. We're talking about War vessels at sea. 2. If there's... Again, just because I got rid of one each of those two-of-a-kind forces, if there's a couple extra that showed up in my opponent's hand, that would be enough to beat me right here. Instead, there's two-of-a-kind weather. Thank goodness I played that intel. It would have been extra turn there. That's the difference. With that well-timed intel, the way it worked out for me. Whether that helps me win the match, we'll see. But it worked out well timing-wise for me. There's a pullback for my opponent. Again, I've got a compromised leader. All my opponent needs is three-of-a-kind force to get the win. 5. I'll get an extra turn from the weathers. I'll have 2 actions to go with this turn with 2 spots open in my war zone. Extra turn. 2 actions to go for this turn. I mean, I could go with two-of-a-kind force out there right now. I think the better play, though, might be two-of-a-kind weather. Let's see. Extra turn. 6. Well, I will get the... If I would have somehow had 2 three-of-a-kind forces out of that, that would have been amazing. But I didn't. Nevertheless, let's... Okay, no. Pull my hand down here for a second. We'll look. All right. 3 sets of 2 out there. Three-of-a-kind weather. I mean, an extra turn. Another one. 2 spots open by war zone. I can go intel and clear everything out from there. And as much as that might feel like perhaps a bit much at this point, it's desperation time for me. Three-of-a-kind intel. Bounce.
Select target.
Everything. Sometimes it gives you the option for multiples, and sometimes it doesn't up here. I'm not sure why that's the case.
Select target.
See, notice it didn't ask me if I was sure I wanted both of them. They just went poof. They're gone. 2 spots open by war zone. 2 actions to go for this turn with an extra turn still to come. All right. I could go with the black blades or go with the XTTs. Here's the extra turn number 2. 1. Well, so much for that idea, huh? Tried. But, nothing to make 3-of-a-kind. Pass up that action in the turn. Taking on Thomas in the first match of our first round battle here. There's a 4. All Thomas needs is 3-of-a-kind force to get the win. There's also the possibility of 3-of-a-kind weather with an extra turn. This is a rematch of the Air Raid 1 tournament final, which I won 3 matches to 1. First round of this tournament, though, is best 2 out of 3. It continues that way until the semifinal, or until the final round, excuse me. That was best 3 of 5 when I faced Thomas before, but here we're talking 2 out of 3. 4 actions to go. Building cards. Okay, 3-of-a-kind building. Maybe going back for force. Maybe going back for a potpourri. Could be going back for weather. But I'm guessing you're going back for some force. I'm going to make the 3-of-a-kind force. Well, there's that deadly beast, was it? One of those over there was. 1 action to go for this turn. So if I can get 2 3-of-a-kind forces played, I'll get the win here. Big if. We'll see. 2. Well, I'll give my opponent a compromised leader.
Select target. Compromised.
I have 2 spots open in my war zone. My opponent, it's a really desperate spot here. If my opponent rolls a 1, then I'll get another turn. Otherwise, though, I think there's 2 more of those waiting up there for me. And there's really not much I can do about that at the moment. Playing A9 Hammerhead and hope for the best. So if it's a 1, I'll get another roll. If not, Thomas will likely win this first round match. If it's a 6, well, I felt like I had 2 extra turns more than I perhaps deserved there as it was. So Thomas, unless something goes horribly wrong, and it won't, there's 3-of-a-kind force to get the win. Thomas will take a 1-0 lead on me here in this best of 3 opening round matchup. All right, good game, Thomas. So let's go to the tournament tree here for a moment. Look up there in that top left bracket. You'll see where I'm taking on Thomas. It's a stacked field for this tournament. There's a lot of talent. And ready for match number 2 whenever you have a code. Thank you. Appreciate that, Thomas. So I got the code from Thomas. So I have to win this match and then a third in order to advance in the tournament. Otherwise, I'll be out here in round 1. That was after winning the Air Raid 1 tournament. But I've lost in the first round of a Warsaken Blitz tournament more than once. It can happen. And it might happen here, but I'll do my best to try to prevent that. All right. We'll bring the slate up for a moment just to reset everything. NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. I trail 1-0 in this best-of-3 opening round matchup against Thomas. Thomas has made the final in the past 2 BluMint tournaments for Warsaken Blitz. Okay, so I'll pull the slate down. We'll go here. Go with the Ziana 21 deck.
Warsaken.
Here we go. So match 2 of the opening round of tonight's Air Raid 2 tournament. Thanks to Biscuit, who sent me this game mat. I was watching, it was what Downtown Details live stream earlier. Oh, let's keep it. 2 of a kind force keep. See, look at that. It's got the and the stars and the graph. Draw a 35-degree angle. I'll go first. It's a cool look, though. I really like it. It's 3. But this is my first time seeing it in action in a game that I'm playing. But hey, it's something new and fresh. Speaking of new and fresh, look at that. I told you I got some nicer versions of the A4 Revenge Super Carrier. Okay, roll 3. 3 actions to go for the turn. Let's go 2 of a kind force for the A9 Hammerhead. 3 spots open in my war zone. 1 action to go for the turn. I don't want to play a WMD at this point. Nothing else makes 2 of a kind, so I'll pass up that last action and end the turn. We got the Warsaken logo right there in the middle. Anyway, it's a cool look. It's something different. Reminds me a little bit of Tron. And in some ways, it feels like one of those satellite military shots. Way overhead, you're about to zoom in on something unpleasant. 2 of a kind weather, then a standalone force to end the turn for Thomas. It leads me 1-0 in this best-of-3 opening round. So it's a roll of 1, and we're in the same spot as before. Nothing except for a WMD to make 2 of a kind, so I'm going to pass up that action and end the turn. And it's interesting with the live streaming element with this past Tuesday, whenever it was the last tournament, the days start to run together after a while. The Air Raid 1 tournament ended up going, for me, coverage, 4 hours? And this one could end, now I normally try to go at least an hour with my live streams, but this one could fall short of that. It's the way it is. I would love to do some sort of live look-in, but not really set up for that. Perhaps someday. Well, I know someday there'll be tons of possibilities for that. My turn. 5. I think there's a ton you can do with Warsaken Blitz and post-production. Okay, so I've got 3 spots open in my war zone. I've got a 3 of a kind building, but that doesn't do me any good with nothing in my discard pile. Let's go 2 of a kind force. Look at that. Again, we're all getting excited for the Savage Escalation, the Set 2 cards. Those packs coming out next week. But for Set 1, the A4 Revenge Super Carrier. What a card. 3 actions to go, 2 spots open in my war zone. Let's go 2 of a kind Intel with a time detonation. I'll pass up that last action, keep that 4th spot in my war zone open, and I'll end the turn. Taking on Thomas in the opening round of tonight's Air Raid 2 BluMint tournament for Warsaken Blitz. Thomas won 2 tournaments ago and made the final of the last tournament, losing to me in the finals. We got matched up in round 1 this time. I trail 1-0. I'm down to 2 territories. Thomas beats me here. I'm out of the tournament. Rule of 1. If I win, we'll go to a third deciding match. I don't want to play... Ooh, tough spot here. I mean, it could go Intel, but that'd be a waste. You could force a discard, but... I don't think this is the spot to do that. I'm going to pass at that action in the turn. And it's a roll of 1. No play, my turn. 5. I was hoping a third WMD was going to drop in. Ugh. It's tough. Okay. I'm going to force the discard. It would be different if my opponent had already played a WMD, but that hasn't happened yet. So 3 actions to go for the turn. I go back for that intel if I wanted to. I could put 2 of a kind of something else out there. I would almost rather wait maybe a turn on those building cards, but I don't know. If I play 2 here, I'll still... I mean, that would be the end of the turn. I mean, I can go back for the intel. I just don't know if that's... And yet, how much do you want to push in a match like this where I'm already down to 2 territories? So many choices here. I'm going to wait on the building cards. We'll go 2 of a kind weather. And I'll pass at those last 2 actions. I'll end the turn. Taking on Thomas, match 2, opening round of BluMint's Warsaken Blitz tournament, Air Raid 2. Thanks everybody for joining me here live on Twitch. Also everybody watching live over on BluMint. Posted the link in chat there to BluMint. It's a roll of 5. I'm down to 2 territories remaining. There's a WMD, 2 of a kind, 3 of a kind. I'm going to have a compromised leader. My goodness. Just like that, I'm on the precipice. I'll lose this match. I'm out of the tournament.
Compromised.
Thomas leads 1-0 in this best of 3 opening round. And there's 2 of a kind force. That's it for the turn. My turn. 3. Okay, I guess now we'll go back. Since I have nothing else I can do here with it, I can use 3 of a kind building cards here. I'll go back for the intel. Because that's really the only choice I have at this point. That's it for my turn. So all Thomas needs here is 3 of a kind force to beat me. There's 2 of a kind force out there on the board. It's a roll of 1. But if there's the third match up there, that'll be the match. If there's the third weather, I mean an extra turn. Standalone force. My turn. 1. I'll play a weather card, and that will end my turn. It's a roll of 5. All Thomas needs is 3 of a kind force to beat me. There's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Wow, look at that. Thomas gets revenge. All right, congratulations to Thomas, victorious over me. But just like that, boom. Grand opening, grand closing. And this tournament for me. So Thomas keeps alive the hope of making 3 consecutive tournament finals here with these BluMint Warsaken Blitz tournaments. My hope of winning 2 in a row comes to a screeching halt right away. And the result isn't reflected just yet, but we'll go ahead and go through this tournament tree here one time. And then I'll go ahead and wrap it up. It was just, you never know with these tournaments how it's going to turn out. And in this case tonight, not a very long run for me. But keep in mind tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1800 UTC, I'll be back with NashvilleLou Live. Warsaken Blitz player versus player. We're going to have that live queue. I had 16 people in my queue at one point during my last broadcast. It was really cool. Remarkable support from the Warsaken community. Anyway, as I was saying, I was going to go through these results here. So, again, this is a stacked, if I do say so myself, top right, or top left, the one that I just lost in. Rather stacked. But this entire tournament's got a lot of talent. So let's go through it again one more time before I wrap things up for this broadcast. So Gabix against Moonbaz Marty, two really good players there. The winner of that faces Razpurge 2333 or Shiloh, whoever comes out from that. You can see there, as you just saw here live on my stream, Thomas victorious over me, 2 straight falls, 2 consecutive matches. And so Thomas advances in the tournament. Thomas will face the winner between Shawabunga and Pennybags Jr. That's the top right part of the bracket. Top left part, Claude IU against Umidin. Winner of that first round matchup will face UROOJ, who received a first round bye. Z Blackle against Zeal. The winner of that match faces Naveed 1161, who received a first round bye. That's the top half of the bracket. Bottom half, Hun Alex victorious over Flaw. So just like me, Flaw out of the tournament. Round 1, Hun Alex 76 advances to take on Delvis. That should be a really good matchup. Natha CGA awaiting the winner between Rexinator and Asteroid Eater. And then looking at the bottom right quadrant, G-Daddy 3315 against Encrypted. Winner of that will face DKRIN 007. David ERS against the John J. Really good matchup there. And it'll be another really good matchup, whoever comes out from that, taking on Sparky in round 2. So it was a short run for me in the tournament, but I anticipate a long broadcast tomorrow. Like, there are things I hadn't contemplated, like what happens if there's like 50 people in the queue? And that sounds ridiculous, but the concept that there being 16 people in there seemed ridiculous. Like the original queue was like I had 6 people, and okay, that's nice for symmetry or whatever, but be realistic. But my goodness, what great support from the Warsaken community. My group of regulars keeps slowly getting larger, which is a good thing. People are discovering how much fun it is to play Warsaken Blitz, how much fun it is to live stream and play. I mean, I just lost 2 consecutive matches. And yeah, I'm not upset because it's a game. But on top of that, it's so much fun to live stream it and bring it to you. And look, facing a quality opponent. Sometimes you're going to come up on the short end of the stick. So I was victorious over Thomas in the final of the last tournament, but here in round 1 of this tournament, out. So again, back tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern. Playing a long broadcast with Warsaken Blitz. Live queue, player versus player matches. We're going to have more Warsaken wheel spin giveaways as we all get ready for the debut next week of the Savage Escalation packs, those set 2 packs. Can't wait to have those finally available to buy and to really dig our teeth in some of these set 2 cards. There are some great cards that once it's feasible to get 4 of a kind with some of them, I really look forward to showing off on stream. While I was disappointed about losing 2 straight falls, I was happy to get to show off although the name is off-putting, the Blood Fungus, but for a rough name, it's a really cool looking game mat. And then the mat with the, I should probably get the name for that, that Biscuit gave me, which I appreciate greatly. Thank you very much for that, Biscuit. That game mat. So at least get to show those off live on stream. We'll have that and so much more coming up tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1800 UTC. I'm going to open the queue. We're going to have people lined up. We're going to have a great time with it. But I think we reached the point with Warsaken Blitz that I could probably live stream this game every day from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed and have somebody to play me here live on stream. Now I might have to replenish the prize wheel at some point Because eventually, but you get the idea. There's that much, and this has been, there's been this slow incremental growth that has picked up a bit as people have seen this game is a lot of fun. It's easy to live stream, and I've had tremendous growth as far as followers here on my Twitch channel. I've had this channel for years, and it was just a little small, obscure channel, mostly playing games that nobody's heard of, or few people have, or some of the mainstream stuff that, it's just, okay, it's one of 1,000 people playing that game. I've had some fun with some of the wrestling games, but I tell you what, Warsaken Blitz is really fun to live stream. Warsaken is a game, the full game, has such tremendous depth. The more I learn about that full game that's still being developed, but with Blitz, they've got a winner here. It is so much fun to play, even though I lost. I'm disappointed I lost. But I'm looking forward to tomorrow. More live player versus player matches, more giveaways. We're giving away those Warsaken wheel spins, and we're going to have some fun with that. So I'll go through one more time on the tournament tree since we still have that pulled up here. And then I'll say goodbye, and we'll get ready for 2 p.m. Eastern tomorrow for the next broadcast with NashvilleLou Live. At least with Warsaken Blitz. There's a small chance I might play some Civ 6 later. I don't know. That game gets its hooks in. He's like, come on, Lou. You can play for an hour. I know what an hour turns into. Anyway, let's go through these. The very latest here on the tournament tree. Moonbaz Marty victorious over Gavix. So Moonbaz Marty gets the winner between Razpurge 23-33 and Shiloh. Thomas victorious over me 2-0 in the first round. Getting revenge for my victory over Thomas in the final of the Air Raid 1 tournament. And Air Raid 2, the sequel, I got the heave-ho early. 2 consecutive losses against an excellent opponent. Thomas will face Pennybags Jr. So Pennybags Jr. advances past Cowabunga. Upper right side. Blood IU taking on Humadin. Winner of that faces UROOJ. Z Blackle against Zeal 450. Winner of that against Naveed 1161. Some of those players in there that were fortunate enough to receive a first round bye, and it's luck of the draw when it comes to that. Bottom part of the bracket, bottom left side, Hun Alex 76, victorious 2-0 or Flaw. Also known as Blackbird on here. Now it would be Hun Alex 76 taking on Delvis. Delvis with a first round bye. 2 very good players there. Natha CGA awaiting the winner between Rexinator and Asteroid Eater. That's the bottom left quadrant. Bottom right, G-Daddy 3315 against Encrypted. Winner of that faces DKRIN 007 in the second round. And then David ERS against John J, which a lot of really good matchups. I keep saying that and thinking that, but that's because there are. And the winner of that will be another good matchup, taking on Sparky, who had a first round bye. So that's how it looks at this point as I prepare to say goodbye for this broadcast. Again, maybe I'll have some Civ 6 later tonight. We'll see. Civilization 6. Which is like the most chill you'll ever get me broadcasting anything, basically, but it's a lot of fun. So maybe that for a little while tonight, later on. But not too long, hopefully. Since, of course, tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, my next Warsaken Blitz broadcast. And I anticipate that being a long show. Should be a lot of fun. Moonbaz Marty, hype. Congratulations, Moonbaz Marty, on beating... Gavix is a good player, so beating Gavix 2-0 like that. Good luck in that second round matchup. I'm not sure yet if you know who the opponent's going to be, but we'll see here coming up soon. Okay. I know that Cowabunga played, but I thought lost. Let me pull this back up here. So yeah, Cowabunga lost to Pennybags Jr., who's going to face Thomas in the second round. So that should be a good matchup there. I was looking at who was online and possibilities here. So I'm going to go ahead and say goodbye for this broadcast. Remember, back with more Warsaken Blitz tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 1800 UTC. And maybe tonight, back with some Civilization 6. Maybe. We'll see. To be determined. Of course, you can follow along with the tournament, this Air Raid 2 tournament, over on Warsaken's page, or excuse me, over on the BluMint page, BLUMINT.com, the BluMint page for Warsaken. So that's going to do it for this broadcast of NashvilleLou Live Tournament Edition. I'm your host, Lou Pickney. Thanks for watching. See you next time.